Joined now in the Independent newsroom by Adrian Kavanagh, Geography Lecturer at Maynooth University and all-round numbers guy, especially when it comes to the local elections. Adrian, we're going to have a quick look at the state of the parties as it is tonight. We're using, obviously, still at this stage, the RT exit poll, but comparing it back to 2014. And I want to start at the Green Party because 2% up to 9%, it's a remarkable result for them.
It's a remarkable result. Those are exit poll figures, but we're seeing it translated today in actual results. What we're getting from the tally so far, we see huge votes for Green Party candidates in middle class Dublin constituencies. But we're also seeing that green tide, that green army flowing out into working class areas. They're competitive. It looks as if they could win seats in Ballyfermot, Drimnagh, as if they could win seats in Swords, Tallaght Central. And they're also likely to win seats in the commuter belt constituency as well. And also making an impact in rural Ireland. So it's a massive turnaround from where the Greens were back in 2011 when they'd only 3 councillors and no TDs.
It is extraordinary, and they will have a big influence in local authorities. But if you look at the Labour Party, who a lot of talk before this about could they bounce back? This is obviously a big bounce back for the Greens. The Labour Party, 7%, that cost Eamon Gilmore his job. Today they're only showing 6%.
So Labour's vote is actually shared out amongst a smaller number of candidates. So the likelihood could be that seat-wise they might do quite well. They're doing quite well in some areas. Drogheda, they've had a really good, the Drogheda area, they've done really well. So the jury's out on Labour. They might do a lot better than these figures are suggesting. A
quick word on Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, the two big parties, the exit poll showing them at 23% each. Have we any indication from the tallies which of those is likely to come back as the biggest party in local government?
Early indications from the tallies suggest that maybe Fianna Fáil will hold their position as the strongest party at the local authority level. They've actually done quite well in some areas, really, really well in Dublin, the North City of Dublin. So some evidence that there's a bounce back to the glory days of Bertie Ahern and Charlie Haughey in those areas. And of course, Charlie Haughey's grandson is likely to be elected. So it looks bad in the numbers, as if both parties are down slightly. But even if they're down slightly, they could still win more seats because the average number of seats per constituency is much smaller this time than the last time.
They've redrawn how the
and the larger parties tend to do better in these smaller constituencies.
They can manipulate it better because they have a better manage of candidates. Finally, Sinn Féin, 15% down to 12. Now, 15% was with Gerry Adams 5 years ago. Mary Lou MacDonald was supposed to be this new spark, this new appeal for Sinn Féin. It hasn't really worked out like that, has it?
No, it's been of all the parties, this has been a really bad election today for Sinn Féin. The local authority is your bread and butter. That's where future general election candidates come from. So they're down 3% in the exit poll on where they were 5 years ago, but in some areas it's even worse. They're really struggling in some constituencies. A number of seat losses likely. There's been some good areas. They were one of the first people to win a seat today with Jerry Murray and Swinford. So there might be some areas where they do okay, but
a lot of counting to go.
Not good for the Sinn Féin. A lot of counting to go, as you say. We'll probably be here until this day next week.
Well, we hope not. But thanks for that, Adrian. That's your update from independent.ie for now. But tune back in later because we will be here as the counting continues.